So thank you for being here. I'm going to present you a generic IP strategy for process manufacturing and answer the question, what is the generic IP strategy for process manufacturing? So to discuss about the appropriate strategy on process manufacturing, we must define the different terms of and concepts. So the process industries are those industries where primary production is either continuous or occurs on an indistinguishable batch of materials. Process manufacturing can be opposed to discrete manufacturing. Process manufacturing uses chemical, physical, and compositional changes um, to convert raw materials in or a feedstock into a product. Whereas on the discrete manufacturing, there is much more of a separation on the different steps. So the process manufacturing stands out with non-stop operation, as I've said, capacity utilization, high asset value, high proportion of production costs, and the threat of unscheduled downtimes. On the other hand, discrete manufacturing assemble the products through routine, and we can clearly distinguish one product from another all along the production chain. In the manufacturing processes, industry mostly use recipes and formulas. It is very difficult to go back along the production chain, and there are various products, crop products. They rely on also on very sophisticated monitoring and planning mechanism to keep their operation up to date and running at a high efficiency. And in process manufacturing also, the production assets represent a very high percentage of the total assets, up to 75%. That is very high compared to other companies, other industries. And the unplanned downtime and shutdown can affect very much the process industries. So now let's talk about the value chain. So the industrial value chain in process manufacturing are a considerable share of actors like employees or separate companies that engage in the processing and transformation of primary products into consumable goods, generating increased value. Value chain development refers to the concerted efforts at a different stage of the value chain to improve the condition of the value chain. So to get a very highly integrated value in terms of the quality of the downstream products, that means that integrated value is linked to the quality of the upstream company strategy that is directly linked to the IP strategy of the company. So we have defined the different terms. So what is the generic IP for process manufacturing? So to be simple, the generic strategy favored by process manufacturing is to develop exclusivity throughout the company value chain. This means that it not only brings value to the products, but also it maintains the exclusivity of its value. So the industrial value chain for processed products are very highly integrated, as I've said. And in process manufacturing, like metallurgy or chemistry, there are several steps in the value chain from raw material collection to the final productions. What companies seek to protect in these areas are not only the manufacturing methods, for example, to create a specific chemical products, but to protect all of the data related to the production of that manufacturing. That means that such information as raw material, production parameters, production optimizations are all parameters that are directly patented or linked to patents to get an increased value for the IP strategy of the company. By protecting this information through a patent trade secret, for example, they prevent competing companies from accessing this essential data, thus creating exclusivity on how products are manufactured. That implies added difficulty for competitors to imitate or copy their production model. So the monopoly across the value chains is a strategy that's aimed not only by the protection of manufacturing technology, but every stage of the production. So now let's talk about Air Liquide. So Air Liquide is a global leader in gases, technologies, and services for industry and health, operating in more than 75 countries. Air Liquide regularly files patents on innovative technology related to the production of industrial gases such as hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Hydrogen is mainly used in fuel cell for cars, in the industry to produce basic chemicals, or in metallurgy as a reductive agents. These patents cover specific equipment, production methods, and associated parameters such as optimize pressure and temperature to improve energy efficiency or product purity. As I've shown you on the right side of the slide, it shows a particular patent that has been filed in 2024 that is entitled "A Process for Producing Very High Purity Helium or Hydrogen." That means that there is, as in any other manufacturing company, the need to protect their technologies. So this generic IP strategy doesn't uniquely does not only rely on the technologies. It also implies protection of other assets such as advanced algorithm. So Air Liquide uses advanced algorithm and control systems. These algorithms manage gas flows, temperatures, and energy consumption by adjusting the different parameters. We can quote in terms of patent protection, different process and apparatus for the separation of cryogenic distillation. So there is a direct mention in patents of these production parameters. There is also other field for Air Liquide in which the company is very invested in terms of IP. For example, in Industry 4.0, that is based on digitalization and the use of sensors. This allows for the collection of massive amounts of data for Air Liquide. So they develop many different softwares. Air Liquide developed connected glasses, which permit the visualization of information in augmented reality, for example. That is that implies for the workers to get to drawn into to get blueprints very very easily. Air Liquide also rely their IP strategy on a partnership with protected IP on both sides of the partnership. It gives them the opportunity to get a conjunction of IP and the different and knowledge to get an increased value. In these partnerships, sensitive information is shared under strict confidentiality agreements. This allows the company to work with partners very securely. For example, I have mentioned on the bottom right of the slide a partnership with Sogestran in 2022, which is a maritime transport of liquefied CO2 that combines the expertise of Air Liquide in CO2 with the experience of Sogestran in the transport of high-value goods. We can quote other protected assets on top of all these previously mentioned assets on for example, the unique management of gas flows. But that's, I think, another example of how Air Liquide develop their IP strategy. This strategy to conclude allows Air Liquide to secure not only its technologies but also every other critical data throughout its production and distribution chain, creating a competitive advantage that is very difficult to replicate and that is shielding them from competition. So that's it for the presentation of IP strategy and the generic IP strategy for process manufacturing through the example of Air Liquide. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.